Hey, what's up, you guys? My name's Chris Wheeler.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to this week's episode on YouTube. I'm going to be talking about the 5 biggest things for me to improve on right now to start selling, start closing, start building trust, value. The 5 things we want to talk about today: opening a sale, building rapport, pitching your product or service, closing the deal, and negotiating, and how you can get better at those and why they're so important. So first, I'm going to start with opening. If you don't know what opening is, it's essentially qualifying. So when you call somebody, cold calling, warm calling, even if you get a hot inbound lead, you still have to do somewhat of an opening job with them by going over the information you got and basically verifying that and using that as a point to build some rapport and build some trust. But you need to make sure that you qualify the people you talk to, and how you do that is I like to disqualify. So you got to ask like disqualifying questions, and what that might be is something along the lines of this. Let's say there's a product I used to sell. Right, I used to be real estate a couple of years ago. I used to sell real estate overseas, and there was a timeline in which that lot or that real estate was available. Right, so if they weren't able to do anything for a year, they were disqualified. So it wasn't like trying to make people qualified to want to get this product. It was more of, hey, like, do you fit in this guideline? No, you don't. Okay, well, is there anything you can do to fit in there? No, you're not. Okay, well, you're disqualified, and you want to carry that with you. You don't want to but you do want to make sure you disqualify rather than qualify, because what happens is when you're opening and you qualify too many people, is you're basically overburdened. Think of it. So we're just gonna roll with that. So the biggest 3 are money, time, and need, right? Money is hard to qualify somebody on, right? So you need to be direct to get direct answers. If you try to make someone have money, it's just not gonna happen. You cannot make someone have money, right? They need to have the time. If they don't have the time, you can talk to somebody about that, but you are not here to create more time from somebody. And need is the easiest and the trickiest one, because some people might not know that they have a need, and you can create that need. So a lot of salespeople that I've worked with in the past, they talk too much. Some people talk too little. You have to find that sweet spot, because when you get on that phone or in person or however you sell, if you're too chatty, even email. I get emails sometimes where people are way too chatty, or not chatty enough, but way too chatty, more common than not. I'm like, what is going on? So you want to make sure you make it just the right, because I want to deal with someone that's professional, that is kind, that has personality, but I don't want to talk with chatty Kathy, because we all have, like, a couple of my vendors, I know that if I get stuck in a room with them, they're gonna be talking forever, right? And like, I don't care too much for that. So when you're opening the relationship, the way I think about it is I want to build surface rapport. So I want to be funny, I want to be lighthearted, I want to get them to like me, I want to talk about, surfacey things. I don't want to get too involved, and I want to remember these things, right? It's like their kid's birthday, or what car they're going to go get, or whatever, super surfacey, but also I want to drill down that I'm there to do business, right? So like, I do care, I do want to bring a human element to it, I do want to build trust, I want to build value, I want to make sure they know they're going to be taken care of, and that I am a human being. And I think that's really the big thing, is that you're a human being, and you'd only want to take a minute or 2 on this, right? Not much longer, a minute or 2 to build the rapport, and that's really. Third, I want to talk about pitching. So pitching, right, it's, I'm going to explain real quick how I do it. There's a bunch of books, a bunch of videos out there on pitching, but to me, the simplest thing about pitching is you're taking someone on a journey with your product or service, and you want to make sure that you hit everything you need to hit. So building trust, building value, showing the benefits, showing the features, right, and what the product can actually do, what kind of solution, right, what kind of problem it can solve. You want to hit all of those, and how you do that is you deliver a good pitch that. Let me back up. So I just got NetSuite for my main business, NetSuite by Oracle, and we had a sales rep that basically we could have hung up 30 minutes ago and he would not have known, right? Because all he did was talk and talk and talk and talk. When you're pitching, one of the most important things is you need to take temperature of the person you're talking to, because if you're going to Disneyland or you're going to a theme park or whatever, and you're taking your child, it's the equivalent, think about this, right? So it's the equivalent of like not holding your child or 2 or 3 year old's hand and walking and looking back a half an hour later and being like, oh shit, where's my kid, right? Like that's what you want to think about. Or like when you go to the pool and jumping right in instead of, I don't know about you, but I like to check the temperature with my pinky toe, right? You want you want to take their temperature. So as you're going down your pitch, you want to make sure that like, hey, does this make sense to you? Do you have any questions, right? And you can also throw in other tie downs too. Like, that looks beautiful, right? Or what do you think about this? Pretty awesome, right? And you'll be able to hear in their voice, or in person, you'll be able to see in their body language, like, not so much, or yeah, this is great. And you can start seeing the temperature building hotter and hotter and hotter, or colder and colder and colder, where you see, I need to back off of this guy. Maybe this product isn't right. And essentially, it is to build trust and build value, and demonstrating how your services or products can be a direct solution to that customer. So number 4, closing. You basically, it's towards the end of the pitch, right? And closing and pitching are 2 different animals. Pitching, I've trained hundreds, if not 1,000 sales reps on how to pitch, right? It's super easy. I'm good at building pitches. I'm good at putting in questions. I'm good. I've got it down to a science. What is hard to teach is closing, and that's something that you need to do a lot of work on. And what I tell a lot of the guys and gals underneath me is, look, here's the deal, right? Like, I can give you a pitch, you can memorize it, and that's great. But the hard thing is, I can teach you how to close, but I cannot write something to show you how to close a deal. Like, you need to teach yourself, or have that natural ability or whatever within you, that drive. And you need to treat this like a career, because basically closing is the ultimate, one of the ultimate trusted advisor spots in the world, right? Because this person is trusting you with their heart for an exchange of information for a product or service. So you gotta let that think in. Like, this person is literally trusting you for an exchange of information for a product or service, and whether that information. So last, negotiating. And negotiating is an interesting thing. It's a different kind of animal. Negotiating, the number 1 rule: the first person to ask price loses. Old cliche, whoever speaks loses. Same sort of thing here. The first person to ask price, they lose. Right? So you want to be building so much value, asking questions to really get that buying signal. Because once they ask, what's the price? What is it going to cost? How do I move forward? It's pretty much done, right? You do go to negotiations, but you get to start high, and you get to basically win most of the time. Now, you want to have it as a win-win for both cases, but if you do not do all the other steps right, like building rapport, opening, pitching, closing, then negotiation will go horribly, because if you don't deliver the perceived value on a product or service, of course the person is going to under negotiate you, because they don't understand the value, right, of the product or service you offer. So you have to make sure everything else falls in line before you negotiate. And this is an easy trap to fall into, and I've fallen for this trap many, many times, where people want to start negotiating quicker, a third, half, a quarter of the way through the pitch, and you got to stop them. It's a trap, because they know, right, unconsciously, or maybe they know consciously, that if they do that, they might be able to get a better deal, because all of a sudden, we're like, oh my God, they're going to buy, and we get so excited about them purchasing that we derail the entire thing without all the other steps we need. So I would give it 2 or 3 tries of them trying to derail you before you go into that. And how you avoid that is you say, look, Sue, I understand, we'll get to the price in a minute, but I want to make sure you have all the facts before we discuss price, because it might change some things for you. And most of the time people will respect that and be like, okay, I understand that. All right, you guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much. If you liked this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel.